Okay. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Good morning, online. Good. So, hope everyone are doing good and good to see you on Saturday. Let's jump on. What did we discuss in our last class? Storage classes, right? Let's have a quick shootout, if you remember. Okay. So, when you're uploading the object, so what is the default storage class that we have? Standard frequently access. So can you list down what are the different types of storage classes? Standard frequently access, standard infrequently, reduced redundancy storage, one zone IA, intelligent tier, glacier, and then deep glacier. So, and then we have seen the difference between all these things, right? And then what is the minimum duration of infrequently access? How many days? 30 days. And what is the minimum object size? 128 KB. So in normal frequently access, then that is 0 byte. Okay, and then we have seen the availability and durabilities of all storage classes. And if you are not using the objects in frequently access for a long time, is it better to keep it in frequently access or move it to some other? Move it to some other storage class. So will you move it manually or automatically? Automatically using life cycle management. So in life cycle management, you need to create life cycle rules. What do you need to create? Life cycle rules. With the help of life cycle rules, you can move the objects from one storage class to another storage class automatically. Okay. All right. And then in life cycle rules, in life cycle management, we have two actions. What are those? Transition and expiration. Say that louder. Transition and expiration. So transition and expiration. Transition meaning moving the objects from one storage class to another storage class. That is called what? Transition. And then what is expiration? Yeah, deleting after some time is called here expiration. And then remember, whatever the S3 features that we are learning, you can set it up on the bucket level also, or you can set it on object level. That meaning prefix level also. What is that? Prefix. Prefix meaning what? Sub sub what? Subfolders. What is that? Subfolders. So prefix meaning here what? Subfolders. Okay. Okay. And no. And then if you want to enable the logs for the bucket, what is the concept we have learned? Server access logs. Say that louder. Server access logs. So using server access logs, we can see the logs of the bucket who is accessing and not. And how do you analyze this server access log? Using Athena. Say that. Athena. Athena is used to analyze the logs, basically, right? And then how to enable the logs for object? CloudTrail. Very good. Where? CloudTrail. Yeah. Using what? CloudTrail. Good. And then also we discussed about CORS. What is CORS? Cross origin resource sharing. So by default, two objects across two different buckets, they can share the objects. By default, no. So that meaning that by default, CORS is disabled. CORS is what? Disabled. So if you want to enable it, so if bucket one wants to access bucket two objects, so we need to enable the CORS in bucket two. So CORS is just a small JSON script where you need to enable it. Once you enable it, so you can access the resources across the regions. And then also we discuss about CRR, SRR. What is CRR? Cross region replication. SRR, same region replication. And what is mandatory in order to set up? Versioning is mandatory. What is mandatory? Versioning. And this CRR can be done in the same account in another accounts also. Yes, we can do it for the another accounts also. This is what we have learned, right? What else we have learned? Only this. Nice. So guys, when I'm asking the questions, please try to answer it. Okay. If you are able to answer in interviews also, you can easily answer. Okay. And that too, whenever we discuss some topic, as I told you, no need to bang your heads going home and then learning everything. Before coming to the class, already you have took the screenshot, right? Just go through it once and then you're able to answer my questions easily. Okay. And also yesterday, we started with encryption. I mean, in day before yesterday, right? So we started with the encryption. So encryption can be done in how many ways? 2 ways. What are those? Encryption in transit, encryption at rest. So encryption in transit meaning while the data is moving. And then encryption at rest meaning when the data is at rest. While moving, how do you encrypt it? Using HTTPS. Using what? Say that. HTTP. Yes. And then how do you create certificates for HTTPS? In which service? ACM. Which service? ACM. And for encryption at rest, what's that? Encryption at rest. How do you encrypt it? Using keys. Using what? Keys. And which service where you can create keys? KMS. Full form? Key Management Service. So this is what we have discussed in our last class. So let us talk about the encryption here in S3. So in S3, remember by default buckets are encrypted. Say that by default. This is the certification question. So by default bucket is encrypted or not encrypted? Encrypted. And I told you as this bucket data is just resting. Data is resting. That meaning what kind of encryption we can put on top of it? KMS. Which one? KMS. And I already told you that KMS will give a default key for every service. So what is the default key for EBS? AWS/EBS. What's the default key for S3? AWS/S3. For RDS? AWS/RDS. For every service, KMS will give one default key. Okay. So here, by default, our buckets are encrypted. Our buckets are encrypted. There are mainly 3 types of encryptions in S3. In S3, how many encryptions are there? 3 types. So we call it as server-side encryption. Say that. Server-side encryption, we call it as SSE. Say that. And then we call it as client-side encryption. Client-side encryption. Don't say CSE. Okay. And then in-transit encryption. What is that? So these are the 3 types of encryption that we have in S3. So again, in-transit encryption meaning how do we set up? Using HTTPS. And client-side encryption, this will be managed by client itself. We don't need to worry about it, right? And mainly coming to server-side encryption. What is the full form of SSE? Server-side encryption. So in server-side encryption also we have 3 types. SSE S3, say that. That is completely managed by AWS. AWS managed key. The one which I am talking about, the KMS, default key is there. No, which one is the default key? AWS/S3. So that is SSE S3. Another one is SSE KMS. Say that. SSE KMS. If you want to create your own key, can you create in KMS or not? And then last one is SSE C. C meaning customer provided keys. What's that? So in S3, we have mainly 3 types of encryptions. What are those? Server-side encryption. Say that. Server-side encryption, client-side encryption, in-transit encryption. Out of this, which one is very important here? Server-side encryption. So we call it as shortcut SSC. In server-side encryption, how many keys, how many different types are there? 3 types. What are those? SSE S3, SSE KMS, SSE C. Which one is the most commonly used one? SSE S3. Understood? SSE S3. So SSE S3 is the most commonly used one, whereas our default key will be presented over there. So which is the default key? AWS/S3. And this AWS S3 uses a encryption algorithm called AES 256. Say that. Advanced Encryption Standard. Say that. What's the full form of AES? Advanced Encrypted Standard. So this is a certification question again. Advanced Encrypted Standard. So they will ask S3 by default, which type of algorithm S3 is using? AES 256. Which one? AES 256. What is the full form of AES? Advanced Encrypted Standard. So by default, our bucket is encrypted, not encrypted. Encrypted. Is it clear? Clear on the encryption? Online CC not clear? Nice. Okay. As I always say here, there is one worst topic here in S3. Worst topic. Okay. So the worst topic, we know the concept, but the thing is they named in a different, they called it in different way actually. See here. There is a bucket here. Okay. There's a bucket. Right. There's a bucket. Tell me. First we will write first we will read Right. So I wrote here something called index.html. So first we write and then we read. Yes or no? So can you tell me, is it correct or not if I say this? Read after write. Is it correct or wrong? Read after write. Correct or wrong? అది కూడా కరెక్టే కదా సార్. Read after write. See, actually we write and then we read. But this guy is calling as what? Read after write. Correct. Simply what he can say, first you read and then we write, then first you write and then we read, right? So what he's saying is, he's saying, right, read after write. So we have two types of consistency models. How many types? We call it as S3 consistency models. Say that. S3 consistency models. So S3 consistency models, we have two types of models. Number one, listen carefully. Listen carefully here. See, whenever you are uploading or writing anything in S3, can we call it as put? In programming language, we call it as what? Put. P-U-T, put. Put, upload, write. Everything is same or not? So can I say index.html is a new object? Yes or no? Can I say like this? Puts of new object? Yes or no? So now I'll write like this here. Okay. So now I'll write here. It is read after write consistency for puts of new objects. This is Pakka certification question. See, read it. What is the consistency model? Read after write consistency for puts of new object. What is this meaning is, whenever you put a object, which object? New object. First you write and then what we do? Another after that you read it. Read after write consistency for puts of new objects. Whenever you put a new object, first you write and then you read it. We don't know. Huh? We know, right? We know or not? Simply what we can say, first you write, you upload the object and then read it. Simply we can say, right? But what AWS is telling is, there are two types of consistency models. Number one is what? Read after write consistency of puts of new object. Read it again. Read after write consistency of puts of new object. Yes or no? So first, whenever you put it, that meaning upload, you write that first and then read it later. That is one model. Another model. Another model is, let's say in index.html, I have a data called ABC. I have a content data called what? ABC. So that meaning here, I'm overwriting the puts or not? What's the word I'm using? Overwriting the puts. Yes or no? Puts meaning here object. You are uploading and I'm overwriting it. So overwriting. Whenever, generally also, if you take normally, not in SE, normally also, whenever you modified any file and you open the browser, sometimes you'll see the old data only. Yes or no? If you refresh, it will go and it will come a new data. Yes or no? So it is updating immediately. It is taking a little bit time. Little bit time, right? Can we call it as eventually? What we call eventually? Okay. So whenever I overwrite the puts, eventually it will update. And then whenever I delete the object also, sometimes also whenever you delete anything, if you open it, it will work. And if you refresh, it will go. Yes or no? That is also eventually it will do. So here the next consistency model here is eventually consistency for what we did. Overwrites of puts and which one we did? Deletes. Understood? This is another consistency model. Read the consistency, second one. Eventually consistency for overwrites of puts and deletes. So whenever you overwrite the puts, whenever you delete it, so it will be eventually. Eventually meaning what? Dheere se. Dheere se. Right? Slowly. Slowly meaning don't think that much slowly. It's very, 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 very less, little bit. Understood? So understood the two types of consistent models? We know this already, yes or no? That's why I call it as worst topic, because they have changed the namings here. Okay, tell me the two consistency models. First one, read after write, consistency for puts of new objects. Second one, eventually consistency for overrides of puts and deletes. So guys, the Pakka certification question, in S3 you will get so many certification questions in S3. So here sometimes they will remove the puts and they will put deletes. They will change the names. They will remove these overrides of puts and they will put something else. So please remember these two consistency models. Clear? Okay. So let's assume that we have a bucket here. Okay. So I have uploaded one file, one nice photo. Nice photo I have uploaded. Now I want to share this photo to everyone. Or else it can be photo also. Which is a movie that you're waiting for, not released? Tell me one. All released, huh? Acha. OG. Acha. OG. So assume that OG trailer released, huh? Yes, huh? Yes or no? No, huh? Okay, fine. Okay, so OG is a, let's assume it's a movie, it's a trailer where I only have in the bucket. I know the producer. Assume, huh? So I want to share this trailer to everyone. How do I share? How do you guys access my bucket? Huh? Provide the access. Provide the access meaning, how do I provide the access? That meaning you should have IAM users or not? Yes or no? So all you are there, I need to create IAM users for everyone, and then for every user I need to give the permission. I need to write inline policy for you. Yes or no? Is it possible for me to do that one for these many people? Do I need to create IAM user for these many people? No. So what I need to do is I need to share the link. I need to share the link. So I told you that there is an object URL already. What is that? Object URL. Using object URL, we can share it. But we have a concept called pre-signed URL. Say that. Pre-signed URL. Pre-signed URL meaning we can generate a temporary URL. Temporary URL which is valid for certain time. Let's say only for 1 minute. So I create a pre-signed URL for the particular object. And then AWS, this S3 will give you one temporary big nasty URL. And I'll share this nasty URL to everyone for you in the Telegram group or WhatsApp group. And then everyone click it and they will see it. After 1 minute, link will expire. Link will what? Expire. Will the link will work? No. So if you want to share the files temporarily to anyone, so which concept we can use here? Pre-signed URL. Which concept? Pre-signed URL. So pre-signed URL. So this endpoint is valid for certain period of time or not? So can we say it is temporary purpose or not? What is the concept here? Pre-signed URL. Say that everyone. Pre-signed URL. Online pre-signed URL is clear? And also I told you that in S3 there are so many features are there. We have learned so many features till now. And there are few features which are, we can use it for free. And there are few features which are billable. So billable concept, we learn it, but we don't touch it. Okay. For example, there is one concept. Tell me, okay, tell me one region. Let's say, for example, airline. So I'm sitting here in Hyderabad. So I have a bucket here in Ireland. I have a bucket. Bucket means S3 bucket only. I just draw like that. Right? S3 bucket. And I want to upload the objects inside this S3 bucket. From Hyderabad to Ireland, it will take time or not? So we are using internet. Assume that it is taking 5 minutes to upload. How many minutes? So it is taking our normal internet or not? I don't want this much time. I want to accelerate. What I want to do? What's the meaning of accelerate? Fast. I want to accelerate the speed. I want to upload it faster. But it is your normal internet. Can you upload it faster? Do you have anything in your hands? Nothing. So for that reason, if you want to accelerate the transfer, so there is a feature called transfer acceleration. Say that. So it's a feature in S3. If you use this transfer acceleration from Hyderabad to Ireland, they will upload very fast because they use in the backend what? CDN. Have you heard CDN? Where? CDN. Full form of CDN? Content Delivery Network. In which service did you heard this? Huh? Louder. CloudFront. Which one? So CloudFront. Okay. So if you see this transfer acceleration will use the CDN in the backend and it will faster the upload. So, but this is not free. This is billable. This is what? Billable. Clear? Huh? So here, what's the full form of ACL? Access Control List. Can you tell me when do we use ACL in S3? How about others? Why are you silent? Come friend. Come friend. Attention. Okay. Okay. So fine. Tell me, when do we use ACLs in S3? You guys are revising? Huh? Okay. So let me ask the question. So in our first day of S3 class, we learned this. Buckets are regional or global? Regional. Okay, you answered. So bucket by default, public or private? Private. If you want to make it public, how do we make it public? Using? You want this slang? Huh? So an interviewer will not be Riyaz sir. Okay, so they will be asking in different scenarios, right? So what I'm asking here, how will you use ACLs in S3? What you should say? To make the bucket public is the answer. Okay? Okay, fine. So ACLs to make the bucket public, we use what here? ACLs. Access control. Is it clear till here? Yes. There are few chumma little bit of features in S3. So we just learn and then we don't care much. Number one is requester pays. Say that. Requester pays. Requester pays meaning, as the name clearly says, who is paying? Requester. Who is paying? Example. I have my AWS account and I have created my S3 bucket. Right? And I have uploaded some information or some movies or files, photos, something. Some data I have in my S3 bucket. Now Abhi wants to access my data. He can access it, but I don't want to give it for free. So whenever if you want to access, you pay and then access my data. What is this concept in your real life? Your Netflix? What is that called? Subscriptions. Here S3 they call it as requester pays. Right? So do you want to do this here now? Not required, right? So remember, so if anyone wants to access your objects, right, they need to pay and then access your objects. If you want to set up these things, what is the concept we have here? Requester pays. Generally, who will pay bucket owner only, right? I created a bucket. I'm the bucket owner. I need to pay for all my data or not? I need to pay for my objects. But I don't want to pay. Requester wants to pay my objects. In that case, if you enable requester pays, customer will be accessing your objects and he'll be paying for you. Got it? Okay. So another one is, S3 event notifications. Say that. Let's say, for example, when someone upload anything in S3 bucket, my bucket, I have created my bucket. Someone upload, download, delete, restore, delete marker, CRR, SRR, anything, course enabling, anything. If someone modify anything in my S3 bucket, I want to receive a notification. That is called here S3 event notification. So similarly, somewhere we did it already before. Notification SNS. But if something happened on the particular service, we should receive a notification. You have done the practicals also on this. What concept was that? Event bridge. Which one? Yes or no? So in Event Bridge, what we did, we selected EC2 service. No, we created rule, we selected EC2 service, and then we got a categories, snapshots, volumes, instant state change configurations, right? So at that time, we have selected which service? EC2. Now, can we use S3 also there? We can use S3 also. All S3 related events will go to the Event Bridge. That also you can do. But here in S3 also, S3 they are giving S3 event notification. That meaning, whenever you do any changes in your S3 bucket, immediately we'll receive what? Notifications. So we have three destinations here. What is that? In event notification, we have three destinations. Number one is SNS to receive a notification. Number two is SQS. Say that. What is SQS? Simple queue service. And then Lambda. Remember, this is a certification question. What are the three destinations for S3 event notifications? SNS, SQS, Lambda. SNS we know for notification. If anything that is someone is modifying your bucket, you will receive a notification. And Lambda, for example. Example I'm saying. Whenever you upload, so you have a bucket and you are forced all the customers to upload only some extension. Let's say JPG files, for example. Which one? JPG files. But your customers are uploading, some customers are uploading PNG files. So what you need to do smartly, whenever they upload, you will receive a notification or not. Whenever you upload, open this S3 event notification and then set up Lambda. So whatever do is, whenever someone upload PNG, this S3 notification will check it. And then Lambda, you write some program in Python to convert this PNG to JPG and then upload it. So if you want to do these customized actions, then go for your Lambda. SQS, don't worry about, is related to messaging queues. So what are the three destination for three targets for event notifications? SNS, SQS, and there is a concept called one-time batch operation. Say that. Have you heard this? Where? It is here, sir. It is not coming. Where did you heard this? Huh? You took the screenshots in our last class? Open that and check. You find out and tell me where we have used. Where? Louder. Where we have used CRR. What is CRR? Cross region replication. Yes or no? So if you have existing objects in your bucket, and if you want to replicate to another bucket, so one-time job operation will be created so that your all existing objects will be replicated to another bucket. So one time, what operation? Batch operation. That meaning bulkily, if you want to do something, then you can use this concept called one-time batch operation. Online, clear? Nice. Okay. By default, listen carefully. By default, bucket is publica privata. Private. By default, bucket is private. If the bucket is private, objects are also private. Yes or no? If the bucket is private, objects are also private. Okay. If the bucket is public, the bucket is public, objects are private. Objects are what? So remember, by default, object nature is private. Object nature is what? Private. If you want, can you make it public? Make it public. Using ACLs. Using what? ACLs. You got it now? So by default, buckets are private. If the bucket is private, object is private. If the bucket is public, object is private. If you want to make it public, then use ACLs and then make it. And then there is one topic called access point. Say that. Now, this access point, I want you to figure out. So it has been so many days that I didn't give any kind of exploring topic for you, right? But I'll tell you what is access point, but I want you to do it. So you have the weekend, right? See, access point meaning, assume that I have a bucket. Sir, by default, buckets are public or private. Zakir bhai, I was telling since me so many times till now, by default, buckets are private. Right? Public is saying. Hello, my mic. My mic is correct only. Right? So by default, buckets are private. Private. Zakir, PP, private. Okay. Fine. So assume this is the bucket. See, this is the bucket. Inside this bucket, I created subfolders. That means prefix. I created a prefix called what? DevOps. I created a prefix called developers. I created a prefix called sales, for example. I have the users here. Who are the users I have? DevOps users are there. Developer users are there. And then sales users are there. My question here is, DevOps user need to access only DevOps subfolder. Developers, they need to access only this. And sales, they need to access only this. How do we do generally? Huh? Permissions. Where, which, how do you do permissions? Using IAM? In roles, how do you do permissions? IAM policies. Which one? IAM policies. Yes or no? Yes or no? So we need to write IAM policy, inline policy, that too. So DevOps users need to access only this, and developers need to access only this, and sales users need to access only sales prefixes. We need to write big policies. Big policies. Instead of that, we can create something called access point. Say that. Access point. For DevOps, I'll create an access point, which is pointing to this. I create a dev access point, which is pointing to developer. And I'll create one more access point, which is pointing to sales. And I'll give this access point to all these users. And they use that access point, and they will be accessing their own prefixes. Understood? Access point? Online, clear on the access point? You know? So instead of writing Bhayanak policies, so you can create this access point and give to the users so that they can easily access their own respective folders or buckets. Clear? Online, CC. So by this, congratulations, we have completed S3 theory. Okay. So now, in order to do the practicals, we still have half an hour. So in order to do the practicals, I can see that there is a little bit lag that you are not responding to my answers, to my questions, right? So I'll open the panes, see it for a minute, and if you have questions, ask me. Okay? I'm giving wonderful chance to you. Okay, otherwise I could have started the practical right away. But before starting the practicals, on theoretical you should be good or not. How we were good on EC2 and practicals easily we did, right? Similarly, S3 also I want you to. Okay. Go through this. Tell me, sir, we are clear on it. Then I'll go to the next one. Take your time. Okay. Online, please confirm. Clear, everyone? Offline? Okay, ma? Girls. There, CC, back. Okay? Vishal. Nice. Go through this. Doubt, huh? If you have questions, please ask. Okay? Everyone? Clear? Doubt, huh? Follow. Which one? When it is in suspended state. When it is in suspended state, so then if you delete the original object, delete marker is applied. But whenever you delete the delete marker, object will not be restored. Why it is not restored? Because it is in the suspended state. If it is suspended state, don't expect versioning and don't expect any kind of restorations. That is with versioning. With versioning, this is suspended. Will not be there. Suspended bole to done. That meaning no versioning, no restorations. But after if you enable it, then everything will come back. Before suspension, then it will be there. Versioning will be there. Okay, clear? Move on. This is your favorite one. This one you know. Different type of storage classes. Go through it. Take a minute. Both are different. X3 Express one zone is for directory buckets. Two types of buckets, no? General purpose and directory. All these 7 are for normal general purpose. X3 Express one zone is for directory bucket. Deep Glacier is also a storage class. Yes. Deep Glacier is also a storage class, Rashmita. Why I'm giving this much time is because you will get so many certification questions in S3. So please read because you don't have time after the class, no? Huh? So that's why I'm giving time here. Read it. If you don't know anything, please ask. What do we create in S3 Glacier? Vault. What does the vault contain? Archives. What is the maximum size of the archive? 40 terabyte. Which is the default storage class? Standard frequently. For frequently, retrieval charges apply? No. How do you move the objects from one storage class to another storage class automatically? Rashmita, 0. There is no minimum duration. Do we need any minimum duration for standard frequently access? When you try to upload, that is so 0. I mean, there is nothing minimum duration there. So you can upload anytime to the frequently access, Rashmita. And then here, what is the meaning of demand rapid access? Okay, here demand rapid access, this guy. Generally, when I say infrequently access, so people think that, so AWS is putting somewhere inside, and then when you try to access, it will take a lot of time to get back. No. So whenever you upload the object in infrequently access, anytime you can access immediately. Demand rapid access, that meaning immediate access. Okay, Anil, next. Why in one zone availability is 99.5, not 99.9? AWS has put, what should I do? Huh? Or if I say why mangoes are sweet, what should I do? But logically here, how many availability zones? One availability zone. How many? One. So availability meaning what? Anytime my data should be there. As it is only one availability zone, just in case if that one availability zone goes down, your data will be there. That's why they have reduced little bit here. Be happy that it is more than 99%. Don't worry about that. Avanish, understood? Hmm. Okay, move on. Okay, ma. Hmm. What you said is correct, Manoj. Even it is 160 TB, it's not TB, GB there. But if you say TB also, if you are using MPU, either through console or CLI, MPU cannot be done through console. It is through CLI. It will take time because it is size. Yes or no? If you want to transfer in your pen drive also, if let's say assume your pen drive is 16, how much? 16 GB. Assume 16 GB, and you want to transfer the files to your laptop. How much time will it take? Take time or not? Even though it doesn't require internet, it takes time or not? Yes, because it is 16 GB. But if you have only 2 GB, it will be done within 5 minutes or not? Again, it is dependent upon the size. So it will take time. Okay. Done, huh? Deepika, what does the minimum duration? Previous wala? Deepika, minimum duration, we learn this. If we want to move the objects from one storage class to another storage class, so minimum number of days should be there inside that storage class. Example. So I told you, what is the minimum duration for infrequently access? 30 days, no? So can I move from frequently access to infrequently immediately? Minimum how many days I need to wait? 30 days. Then only you can move it to infrequently access. What is the minimum duration for Glacier? 90. Deep Glacier? 180. Okay, Deepika. Rashmita, object lock when it is used. When do you lock your home? When do we lock your home? If you are not using it. And if you don't want to go, anyone, okay, so when we go out, okay, Rashmita said, when you go out, you lock it so that no one should go inside, no one do some modifications, no one do any kind of things inside. What are you doing? You're locking it. You can lock it temporarily also, you can lock it permanently also. Yes or no? Similarly, here also, object lock meaning if you lock the object, no one can modify it, no one can delete it, no one can do anything. That is called object lock. When we use, let's say you're all working in my company, I have salary details of all yours. I want to store. I stored in S3 and I lock it or not. Otherwise, you go and modify and put 30 lakhs to 40, 50 lakhs. Yeah. Can we directly create a job in Glacier? You can directly, the Glacier is also a separate service screen. If you want, you can directly create a vault and then upload the files there. Or else you can use our lifecycle manager to move the objects to that Glacier using job. Kiran. Okay. Puppy. This course, you know courses. So by default here, if you access puppy here, index.html is there. If you are calling puppy from the same bucket, this will work or not? But if you are calling from another bucket, will it work? It will not work. So what you need to enable? Cards. Bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 2. So enable the cards, and then if you refresh it, this will work. This one practicals also I'll show you. Okay. CRR, SRR. See it, read it. Is it possible to move an object from Glacier to frequently access? You say. Answer is no. Only forward, no backward. Anil. Very nice. So what? So you just need to revise little bit, and then I'm telling whenever you go to any interview or Naresh IT is conducting for any kind of placement interviews and all, if you just follow my pains and if you're able to answer my questions, that's it. Any company, boom, boom. Done. For CRR, which is mandatory? Versioning is mandatory. By default, CRR is enabled. CRR can be created for the entire packet also or for the prefix also. Yes or no? Prefix meaning subfolder. Okay. Next. The one which we have learned today. So encryption, how many types? Two types. What are those? In transit, at rest. In transit meaning HTTPS using ACM. Encryption meaning keys using KMS. In S3, how many types of encryptions are there? Three types. What are those? Server-side encryption, client-side encryption, in-transit encryption. So out of this, in server-side encryption, again, we have what? Three. What are those? SSC S3, SSC KMS, SSC C. Which one is commonly used? SSC S3. And there is also called DSSC, double encryption. What is that? Double server-side encryption. Single is enough. If you want to go for double layer of encryption, you can go for it. That is called DSSC. What's that? Okay, so and what is algorithm that is using? So by default, encryption is enabled or not enabled? Buckets are encrypted or not encrypted? Encrypted. What is the algorithm model it is using? AES 256. And encryption decryptions are completely managed by AWS. So do you remember these two consistency? Without sync, can you tell me the consistency models? Read after write consistency for puts of new objects. Next one. Eventually consistency for overrides of puts and deletes. Very good. And then do you remember we discussed about pre-signed URL? Pre-signed URL meaning what do you say? Temporary purpose. Say that? Temporary purpose. And then we just learn about what? Transfer. If you want to speed up the transfer, so you can enable it, but it's billable or not. So we learned about ACL. What is ACL? Access control list. And then just now we have discussed about what? Requester pays. What is that here? Requester. So in general, bucket owner pay all the storage, right? But if your requester wants to pay, then go and enable the requester pays. And if you want to share any kind of large data to other people, then go for this requester pays. Okay. And then S3 events, I told you there are three destination or targets. What are those? SNS, Lambda, and SQS. So SNS event notification meaning what? If you want to receive a notification when anything change in the bucket. Next, what is here? S3, batch operation. Say that. One-time batch operation. No. So if you want to perform any bulk operations, moving, copying, replicating, huge in bulk, then which one you create? Batch operation. So just now we discussed about what? Access points. So instead of writing critical bucket policies or IAM policies, create simply what? Access point. And these DevOps, they will use what? This access point. And these guys will use what? This access point. And these guys will be using this access point. Okay. And by default buckets are, and by the way, access points can be public or access can be private. So we will be using which one? Public. So by default buckets are private. If you create the bucket, objects are private. If you create the public bucket, objects are still private. If you want to make it public, use ACLs. And do you know this year static website hosting? S3 support static website hosting. S3 will show you the metrics. Metrics meaning for monitoring purpose. What is that? How much size your S3 bucket is, how many objects are there. All these things will come under what? Metrics. And then inventory. Generally, what is inventory meaning? Inventory generally. Go down. Okay. So if you see the go down and you have lot of things inside the go down, right? If I ask you, hey, go and get the inventory of the go down, then what do? You keep the list, right? So in go down, these are the things are there. These are the things, all the list. Example, if you take this room, I've asked, go and get the inventory of this room. What is the meaning of inventory? How many fans are there? How many projectors? How many ACs? How many laptops? How many CPUs? How many UPS projectors? How many people? Everyone, that is inventory. Now, if I ask, please get the inventory of this bucket. Is it possible for you to go and do it manually? So if you click on inventory configuration, it will generate a report to you. Say this. Intelligent archive configuration. Intelligent archive configuration, I will show you in the practical, because do you see there is a storage class called intelligent meaning unknown access patterns or not. So based on your usage, your files will be, objects will be in frequently accessed or in infrequently accessed. Assume that you have a store, you have some objects in intelligent and assume that you are not using it, that objects. Unnecessarily you need to pay for it or not. So can you archive it or not again? If you want to archive it, intelligent objects, you can use this. But I'll show you in the practicals. Clear now S3 in one shot? Clear? Online, clear now? So I'll not be taking the practicals now. Okay. So freshly we'll start these practicals on Monday. So before that, did you completed Elastic Beanstalk? Practicals completed, right? If you have completed Elastic Beanstalk practicals, if you go to S3, a S3 bucket might have created for you, if you have noticed. S3 bucket has created for you. I'll tell you here how to delete that S3 bucket. So go to S3. You go to S3. If you have done S3, see you have done this Beanstalk practicals, this Beanstalk bucket is created. So if you want to delete that bucket, simply generally how we can delete, we can first, what we need to do? Empty and then delete. Can you delete the bucket directly? If you have generally your bucket also, what does the bucket contain? Water. If you want to throw out the bucket, first what you need to throw out? Water. Similarly here also, right? Similarly here also, if you want to delete the bucket, first you need to empty the objects and then you can delete the bucket. So for that, you need to empty it. But the thing is, generally for all the buckets, you empty and you delete it. Good. But this bucket, you need to do something. See, go inside it. Go to permissions and you have bucket policy is there, no? Delete this bucket policy first. Delete this bucket policy. Okay. And then come, first what you need to do? Empty. And it asking permanently delete. Yes, permanently delete it. And then do you see delete bucket config? Either you can click on delete or you can just go back and select the delete bucket. Give the name and then delete bucket. Now gone. Now it's clear. Now S3 is clear. Right? So please delete that bucket, but it will not be any charge, but I prefer always to be clean. So make sure that everything should be clean once you have done it. Okay. So what we do on Monday, we'll start working on what? S3 practicals. Right. So actually, again, I'm telling you, before coming Monday to the Monday class, please go through that S3 theory. I'll be uploading S3, all the panes also into Google Classroom in this weekend, right? And so please complete those revision as a part of, you have done this already today, but still, while doing the practice, it's good to revise all these things or not? Revise a little bit and then we'll enjoy doing S3 practicals on Monday. Any questions? Yes, Rashmita, no problem. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, can you give me the final CC for today, please? Abhiram, take it. So that is all for today. Let's connect Monday with the S3 practicals. Until then, take care. Have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. See you on Monday. Bye-bye.